My roommates are watching Blue Planet or something, so if you can hear the dulcet tones of one of the Attenborough brothers, that's why. I can't keep those two apart. One of them played Santa and one of them narrates the thing, and then one of them directed Cry Freedom, but I don't know which. I only discovered that they were different people like 2 years ago, so anyway, hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yesterday was Independent Bookstore Day, which is a very exciting event that happens every year on the last Saturday of April, where independent bookstores all over the US participate and have lots of cool events and fun things going on. It's especially exciting here in Seattle, where 21 bookstores, I was gonna say compete, it's not a gauntlet. 21 bookstores participate, and there's even this special passport challenge where if you go to every single bookstore and get them all stamped, you get 25% off at every participating bookstore for the next year. I thought that I might do that this year, but it was only my first year of doing Independent Bookstore Day, and that was just an overwhelming amount of logistics and stuff for me, so I didn't go to every single one, but I did go to about 5 or 6 with my friend Shirley. It was just an amazing day. The weather was really weird, but it was super fun to be out and about. I got to see lots of cool bookstores that I'd never seen before. One of my personal favorites was Ada's Technical Books, which was an Ada Lovelace inspired bookstore. It had science books and a whole room that was floor-to-ceiling bookshelves full of coding books. I got an Ada Lovelace pin. There's also a cafe with brunch. It was just a really amazing day. And thanks so much to Shirley for coming with me. First we went to Elliott Bay Books. I got Bloodwater Paint by Joy McCulloch. This is a novel in verse. It is about a female Italian painter who survives, I think, sexual assault and then becomes a painter herself. And I don't know that much about it, but Mackenzie Lee blurbed it, and that automatically makes a book to read in my opinion. And this is the second book in verse that I've bought. Last weekend I went to Village Books in Bellingham and got White Rose by Kip Wilson, and that is another novel in verse about German resistors in World War II. They're both, I think, very intense, but I'm happy to read this one. Oh, also, it was recommended on The Worst Bestsellers, which is a bad book podcast that I listen to, and this is one of their best books from last year. Next at Elliott Bay, I got Descendant of the Crane by Joan Hay. This is an Own Voices Asian-inspired political fantasy. You know, I'm all about that political fantasy, any Goblin Emperor read alike, and this has been getting a lot of great press, great reviews, and I'm really excited to read a fantasy novel by a woman of color. This book is from Ada's Technical Books. It's called Wonder Women by Sam Maggs. Sam Maggs wrote a great book that I read last year called Girl Squads, and this is another book that's all about women's history and women in STEM. There's Margaret Knight. It's got fun illustrations. Sam Maggs wrote a book called The Geek Girl's Guide to Fandom, something like that. Fangirl's Guide to, yeah. Anyway, and I loved Girl Squads, and this one looks like it'll be really great, and it was really cool to get it from Ada's Technical Books, and Ada Lovelace is in here, and I just love science. We went to a store called The Book Larder, which is an exclusively cookbook bookstore. They had food there, samples, authors were there making food. I had the best chocolate truffle I've ever had, and I also bought meatless sheet pan suppers. My roommates and I have been trying to go more and more meatless, and so as you can see I've already flagged a few of the recipes, and I'm all about those one-pan meals. I made one of these for my lunches this week, but I did add chicken instead of tofu because I'm not entirely meatless yet. But it seems like very versatile, lots of really delicious things. There's pizza. One of my favorite Seattle bookstores is Third Place Books, and it was really great that we went there because I finally found a copy of A Thousand Sisters by Elizabeth Wayne. Longtime watchers will know that Elizabeth Wayne makes me cry. I just finished Rose Under Fire, and I'm still unpacking that book. Oh boy, you thought Conan and Verity was sad. This is a This is a non-fiction book about the Soviet female pilots in World War II who were the only women to fly combat. Some of them were called night witches. That's just like legendary status. I think I own every Elizabeth Wayne book now, and I'm like, when's your next one, Elizabeth? When's it coming out? But I gotta finish this one first, and then I'll have read all of them, and I'm a little sad about that. But anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think YA nonfiction is really cool, and we're seeing more and more of it come out. I can totally read adult nonfiction, but also some of it can be very dense. I just finished Sundown Towns by James Lowen, which is a history of towns that exclude African Americans, especially after dark, and that took me 2 months to read. Now that's an outlier. Most books don't take me that long to read, but nonfiction can be kind of hard to get through, so YA nonfiction is super cool, and also I just implicitly trust this author. We went to Open Books, a poem emporium, which is an exclusively poetry selling bookshop, which is really neat, super cute location. I didn't get anything there because poetry books are very expensive. I'm interested in reading more works by Mary Oliver. I just discovered her this week in her poem Wild Geese. You should look that up. And then we ended the day at University of Washington Bookstore, and I bought Lavinia by Ursula K. Le Guin in my continuing quest to read every single Ursula Le Guin book. This was the last novel that she wrote. It's been on my to-buy list for a while. It is a retelling of a female character in the Aeneid, who I think doesn't have any lines, but she has a voice in this book. I think it's gonna be really good to read Ursula Le Guin's last work. And that is my Independent Bookstore Day haul. I encourage you all, even though it's not Independent Bookstore Day, to go and support your local independent bookstore. They're usually hosting all kinds of events, all kinds of book clubs. It's great to be able to pre-order your new releases from there, and they're always just a welcoming and wonderful environment. They've got like amazing smells always. They usually have some kind of cafe or restaurant attached. So this is my plug for all independent bookstores in your area, and thank you very much to Seattle Independent Bookstore Day organization for putting on such a cool event. That is all I have for today, because it's late. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time.